Igbo quit notice. Here are 15 things Osinbajo told northern leaders. Yemi Osibanjo has warned northern youths that the federal government will not take lightly the 3-month quit notice issued to Igbos. The acting president held a consultative meeting with elders and leaders in northern states. Osinbajo said any hate or divisive speech, or divisive behavior, where it is illegal, will be met with the full force of the law. Acting President Yemi Osibanjo, on Tuesday, June 13, warned northern youths that the federal government will not take lightly the 3-month quit notice issued to Igbos to leave the region. NAGE.com gathered that the acting president stated this during a consultative meeting with elders and leaders of thought in northern states at the presidential villa, Abuja. The meeting, which had in attendance the Senate President, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Chief of Staff, Service Chiefs and other top officials of government, was held at the Old Banquet Hall, State House, Abuja. Acting President Yemi Osibanjo held a meeting with northern leaders on Tuesday, June 13. Below are 15 key things the acting president said at the meeting. First, let me say how honored I am by your response to my invitation to attend this special consultation. I'm pleased to welcome all who are here today, cross-section of elders from the northern states of Nigeria. It is also important to point out that there are, of course, people who would qualify for the same description, the description of very respected thought leaders, but certainly, we cannot have everyone. Some we could not even reach, but, more importantly, we wanted to have a small number of people for this first consultation, so that we will not have an unwieldy number. Besides, I will also be meeting with traditional leaders from the north, and I will be meeting with respected thought leaders and religious leaders from the southeast. So this will be very broad series of consultations, but, let me say again that I am extremely grateful that you responded to this meeting at very short notice. Living in a diverse country such as ours, of course, as most of us who are here know, is one that will give rise to unique challenges, several challenges and several issues. Most, who are here today, have been witnesses to practically all phases of Nigerian history, which is one of the reasons we have asked that you come today. There is hardly anyone here who has not witnessed the most important landmarks in our history, some tragic, some joyful, and, many times, unable to put together. This is one of the reasons why I thought that this particular group of people are important to be here today. In the past few weeks, I'm sure many of us have noticed that there have been louder noises of hate, of division, especially from the younger persons in our society. Much louder noises than perhaps had been the case in the past. Recently, of course, there was the loud agitations about secession from some of the groups of some young people in the southeast, Igbos and groups that are affiliated with them, but also, and perhaps more recently, the call by a group of young persons from the north, who claim to have given an ultimatum to all of those who are from the southeast who live in the north to vacate the north by October 1, 2017. Now, there are those who may deride these sort of statements that these hate speeches that may show intolerance and promote divisions are not important, that they should be ignored. However, I believe that we should address them quickly, and that especially leaders of thoughts and elders, persons with experience, persons who have been through several phases of Nigeria's history, should be able to advise and should be able to give some directions as to how many of those in our midst, especially younger people in our midst, who may believe that perhaps the way and means they are going about their frustrations or their personal grievances is the right way to go. I want to say that our defining strength is what our Constitution calls the sovereign nation under God. There are multitudes of people from the North and multitudes of the people from the South who live in either the South or the North. There is no homogeneous society in Nigeria. The North has several people living there from different parts of the country. Every form of violence, every form of hate speech, every stone that is thrown in the marketplace will hit targets that are not even intended. And I believe that the Nigerian people must be made very conscious of that, so that we do not create a crisis that is unintended. As part of the reasons of living together, we must know that misunderstandings and frustrations would always arise and that people would always complain that they are not getting the best part of a deal. But we must be careful to recognize that we can only even begin to talk about getting any part of anything, only, if we are together in peace. These days, wars do not end, and I am sure that all of those who have seen or experienced war in any form would not wish it on their worst enemies. This is not the time to retreat behind ethnic lines. Moments like this are not for isolating ourselves, and I want to urge all of us who are here, and of course the entire Nigerian populace, that it is a time for us to come together and to work together. As a government, we are of course determined to ensure the unity of the country along the lines of our Constitution. I want to say that hate or divisive speech, or divisive behavior, where it is illegal, will be met with the full force of the law. And I want to ensure that there is no doubt of the resolve of government to ensure that no one will be allowed to get away with making speeches that can cause division, or that can cause violence. Especially because when we make these kinds of pronouncements and we do things that can cause violence or disruption of lives and property, those who make those speeches are no longer in control. So, I want to just emphasize that government will take very seriously any attempts to cause violence or to disrupt the peace of this country. That, I think, is very important because we cannot control violence once it begins. So today I am extremely grateful that you have responded to this meeting, and I know that those who are around this table will be frank and constructive in all of our engagements. It is a very important engagement, and I hope we will be able to get the kinds of fruit that we desire from it. God helping us, our country will always be a place where we can always be proud of, where we can always live peacefully. And we always owe it as a duty to the next generation to hand over to them a peaceful and prosperous nation.